And the Cardinals have won the game.
You're listening to The Rob Dibble Show.
Back at Murphy's here in Manchester for the Football Friday ticket blitz for UConn versus Temple. Joining us on the hotline right now is Kevin Kernan from Ball9.com. Has covered Major League Baseball for over 40 years. And KK, I mean, I had to kind of go back to 88 in my mind to remember a home run that was that unbelievable. You've covered it for a lot longer than I have been around it. Tell me about what you thought when Pete Alonso went opposite field down 2 runs in the 9th inning last night.
Well, I was there when Gibson hit that home run, so I agree. It was just unbelievable. What I liked most about it, and I don't think anybody said anything about this, it was a good piece of hitting. He went with the pitch.
I talked about it. It was a changeup away. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Changeup away. And all these guys, how many guys would have rolled over on that for a double play? They're trying to jack it out.
9 out of 10.
So,
9 out of 10 guys would have done
9 out of 10. He was, that's what and you've had many times we talked about Pete and how much I love him.
Yep.
Because he's a polar bear, he's a chocolate lab, he's whatever you want him to be.
Chocolate lab.
Yeah, that's what and you got to have those
That's
guys
true.
on the team. And as soon as the walk came,
Right.
I said, this is it. Mets are winning this game. And Nimmo with a great at-bat. And I was surprised by this because, these games come at you so fast and furious. I was just looking at the numbers. You know how many home runs the Mets hit in the series?
1.
That was it. Imagine that. And it's the home run for the ages. The Brewers had 5 homers. They had 62 points higher than the Mets. But the Mets have, and I'm telling you, Dibs, I said it the first time you had me on this year in spring training, Carlos Mendoza is a keeper. He's a tremendous manager. They have it going, and the OMG is much more than a saying. And I'm going to get a little heavy on you here for a second, but in that song, Iglesias is talking about thanking God for the opportunity to play baseball. And the Mets have taken that to the next level. It's all about opportunity. I want to read one thing to you. I think this is a great thing. Start by doing what is necessary, then do what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. That's from St. Francis Assisi, who happens to be his saint day. So, it's just all these things pop up. It's what we love about baseball. We never know the 3% winning percentage at the time. And there you go. So good for Pete Alonso, good for the Mets, and of course the 9th inning home run from Lindor that started it all down in Atlanta. So this is we said it. I said it last week when you had me on. I said I would not be shocked. Yankees Mets World Series. A long way to go yet, but step 1 is done.
How about good for Major League Baseball?
Yeah.
I feel, Kernan, this week has been one of the best weeks Major League Baseball has had in a long time, and it's not with any gimmicks. It's not with any special fields. It's with, cutthroat competition. I just love the 3-game series. I'm glad we're going to a 5, don't get me wrong, after this, but I just love how it's 3 games, but it's still cutthroat the way the format's set up.
Well, it's not only cutthroat. It's a great point, Ben, because it's also cutthroat on the field now. Jesse Winker,
right.
that stuff was awesome. That's Dibble right there. That's Dibble, That's no different.
Marge would have fined me for breaking the helmet.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. You would. Yeah. And by the way, we talk about the great week for baseball. It's been such a great week that we really haven't even noticed the Strauss on the helmets. And like I said the other day,
I have every second I see it.
Dibs loves pointing it out.
I hate that. It is what it is, KK.
It is what it is, but no Strauss team has lost yet.
Every Strauss team is keeping in it. Yep. I mean, we were rooting for the Tigers. It was great to see AJ Hinch get some revenge. Watching some of these teams win and get to the next level has been fantastic. I think. I mean, Major League Baseball's winning by this whole wild card round already.
Well, and you're leading me right to another point I wanted to make. You know what the new analytic is? And I said a while back, stolen bases would be the new analytic. The new analytic is a manager who's actually paying attention and making moves. AJ Hinch. Glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Well, you can get on Hinch all you want for the cheating stuff. but he has the vibe of his team. Mendoza, same thing. Last year, Bochy did it all year. Would stick with the reliever if he needed to stick with him an extra inning. We're even seeing that a little bit with the Mets.
Let me stop you. I thought Mendoza won that game by leaving Diaz in or bringing Diaz in after the back-to-back home runs.
Right.
He leaves him in there, and then he had to use a starter to close the game out. But that stopping it at 2 runs gave the Mets an opportunity to win that game.
That third run comes in, they're done. You just know how deflated that is, and then you got to get the home run ties it, of course, but it's a whole different story. Absolutely true, and that's a Bochy-like move, which we saw last year. Instead of the puppet masters, I call it Russian roulette relieving because they always do 1 inning, and even if they throw 6 pitches, they look dynamite, they're out. So you're playing Russian roulette all the time. What reliever is going to blow up? Mendoza, by leaving Diaz in, and also going back to the Atlanta game, Diaz forced his way back. That's managing, and I think even the little thing with the Reds going and signing Tito, I think we're getting back to some managers. Not all the teams, obviously. And I do think, too, also, one of the big problems for the Astros this year, they had a lot of them, but one of the big problems was not having Dusty Baker. Espada, he's the new wave manager, collaborative. You got to be a decision maker. And that's the problem I have with baseball now. A lot of smart people, but a lot of smart people don't know how to make decisions on the fly and quick and baseball decisions. But to survive in the playoffs, it happens every year. You got to do these things right. And you can't give Lindor enough credit. Since I ripped him on your show earlier this year when he had the statue strikeout, he's been a complete different player.
Yep.
I think that statue strikeout forced him into looking at himself in the mirror and say, I have to be better. And he has. And he's leading the team across the board. Good for Mets fans. They need it. It's been a long time. And also one other quick point. Why did and gets back to what you just said. The last time the Mets played the Phillies, and we talked about it, he left Diaz in for 2 innings to close that game down to beat Zach Wheeler 2-1. So they're going into this next game against Zach Wheeler saying, hey, last time we faced him, we beat him.
We've talked about the Mets being underdogs here against the Phillies, the Tigers underdogs against the Guardians. I feel like the Royals will be underdogs as well. Padres, obviously they're a great team, and that's going to be a great series, Padres-Dodgers. They got all-stars all over the place. But the Kansas City Royals, that series against Baltimore, let's start there. It felt like everyone was playing tight. Runs were hard to come by. Hits were hard to come by. I almost feel for the Baltimore Orioles, but they had their chances and only put up 1 run. Can the Royals keep this rolling and stay as hot as the Mets and the Tigers going into their division series?
Well, they've made some major changes. Brought some baseball people, actually some baseball scouts who were fired from the Nationals came over there in top line positions, and I talked to one of them this week. And they're just doing what you talked about. They're playing baseball. My question is, can they score enough runs? Because the Yankees haven't, obviously, when they get to the playoffs, they've only scored like 5 runs once in a long time. In the playoffs, but can the Royals score enough runs to beat the Yankees? That's my, these are going to be close games. Yankees, I think the Yankees will just be able to score more runs. I'd love to see the Royals do it, but hey, they play together. Seth Lugo, a very underrated Walker. They got some tough guys there, and it's been that kind of playoff season. We'll see how how the Yankees are with the not playing, things like that. And we've talked about it before with Judge's .211 batting average. So to me, this series, to be quite frank, this series is a Juan Soto series. This is a series where you have to get Soto going real quick to establish a tone, and he's going to lead these Yankees to the next level with Judge's help. I think that's the key to this whole series. I think the Yankees have one more big weapon than the Royals have, and of course Bobby Witt Jr. is phenomenal.
I saw it with Adley Rutschman in the Orioles-Royals with the 1 knee down. I saw it last night with Alvarez, the top of the ninth with Gary Sanchez, that 1 knee down, not being able to throw out base stealers. So forget the engagement thing. I can't stand the catching of today. It's allowing these guys to get into scoring position, which is my biggest pet peeve. Your thoughts on just the teaching these catchers with runners on base to have 1 knee down to try to frame 2 extra strikes a game?
If that. I was just going to say, I don't even think they get 1 strike per game. And these umpires, I talked to Phil Cuzzy about this a while back. They're calling the ball when it crosses the plate, not when a guy moves his hand. And in the old days, they would have told you, hey, do that again, you're not getting any strikes. But they can't do that anymore. It's ridiculous, and that's the worst thing about the nerds in charge. They never admit when they're wrong. They will never go backwards. It's really crazy, and it's so obvious that it's almost become a joke now. And I fully expect the series to turn on something like that. Right now, what's happening? The good thing about it, though, Dibs, is that they're all doing it, so it's all kind of matching up. You know what I mean? This team will do it, that team will do it. So it's like each one's giving a run, but it makes no sense. It's not baseball. Everything else in October is getting back to baseball, including the fact I really do think the Mets did a good job of knowing what Williams, reading his pitches a little bit. I don't think they read every one of them, but you could tell. And again, it's nothing to do with reading pitches. Yeah, of course, if you're up there 3-1 count, you're looking for that change up away. So
right.
Yeah.
The more things you do baseball, the more things you win.
Well, I hope this is at least a baseball question because it's kind of baseball, non-baseball. But what's up with the trend of the bad owner that has to put out a statement to apologize to his fans this year? We got one from White Sox. Your Reds, Dibs, apologize. Yep. I think the Pirates did one. Of course, the Oakland A's Fisher guy said something. What's up with this trend of like, I'm sorry, we sucked all year. I promise we'll be better.
Well, that tells me they're spending a lot of money on outside consulting PR services. That's what that's all about. The PR service, the public relations service will come in and say, "Oh, you got to do this," and they think they're appeasing the fans, and all they're doing is stirring up the fans, making them madder than hell.
Yep.
And they can. I will say this though, at least the Reds, and I read them 3 weeks ago. I actually, somebody from the Reds front office just sent me a text saying, "Hey." You were 100% right on your septic tank Red story, but at least give us credit for this. and he's right. This is a great.
People are reading.
Yep.
Yeah, people are reading. And you know what? I'll go one step further. The baseball people are reading.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at in my life. That means a lot. And fans are reading. I don't know if you saw the story, but I gave a call to 91-year-old Dave Bristol the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Check on him mainly in North Carolina. The stuff he told her about Pete, and you know all this stuff. So. But the way he attacked the winning, he slides into second base. He's 4 for 4 against the Giants, and Hal Lanier says, "Hey, I just heard that Alou got another hit. He's 3 for 3." So Pete next to that bat, 5 for 5.
Yep.
So we have these baseball guys that love the game, and he's doing well in North Carolina, by the way. But he did say 30 miles from him is an absolute war zone.
Yeah,
that's awful. You know who else I was happy for besides A.J. Hinch? Mike Schilt. With the Padres, that guy who was shown the door in St. Louis so unceremoniously, those pieces of crap, and then this guy comes back with the Padres and does the unthinkable. I'm loving it, man. That guy's a great guy. He deserves everything he gets.
He's on I had him on my list right under Tito. I forgot to mention him, but you're right. And what the Cardinals did then, that shows you all you need to know about their front office.
They were winning. They were winning. Yeah. And now they're terrible.
And that wasn't players bitching. That's probably because he stood up against some analytical things in the meetings.
Yep. Nerds.
You can't have you can't have anybody say no. And again, Preller's got a lot of heat. What does Preller do? He brings in Luis Arise, and Schultz does a great job.
Right.
And Arise shows all the guys, hey, good things happen when you hit the ball the other way. How many times has Arise been up this year when he needed that hit late in the game? And he's done what he's done, and then Jackson Merrill finishes it off for Manny now because Manny's out. To me, that's the series. To me, that's I'm really excited to see second round here.
Now, I can't wait for the Detroit-Cleveland. I think nothing's more blue-collar baseball
that's a good
than
one too.
Tigers-Guardians. Give me your synopsis on the Guardians. We haven't talked about them really. Nope. Are they set up pitching-wise to make a run here and beat the Tigers?
If they can get a few runs early, they're going to be very difficult because that bullpen's lockdown bullpen, and they know how to use it. And that Clase guy, he's an animal. He give me the ball again. Give me the ball again. I'll take it again. And you know what? 98. And fastballs. Will we please get back to throwing fastballs in key situations in the postseason?
I know.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
These guys are all getting beat on breaking balls, curveballs. And everybody's doing it. The Brewers almost won because of a changeup and a curveball home runs, and So I want to see pitchers throw fastballs and just clean them out, especially when you're talking about the Phillies. The Phillies I've been told by multiple people, throwing high fastballs is the way to beat the Phillies. So we'll see.
Kernan, God bless you. Are you doing all right down there in Florida?
Oh, we're doing great. Nothing.
Okay.
Hey, like I said a while back, I moved to St. Augustine because it's been around since 1562. It ain't going nowhere.
There you go. You're smarter than all the rest of us combined. You're
And
the
also,
best.
one other tip.
What?
One other tip, real quick. I'll let you go. But if you do move to Florida, like I did a few years ago, make sure you move on a street near the police station so you're on the same power grid as the police station. Your power never goes out.
So true.
That's Ben's dad.
So true.
Yep, so true. There you go. Words to live by. Kernan, you're the best. Thank you, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs.
Take care,
Actually, we're probably going to call you
Dad.
next week anyway.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next
week. Talk to you next
we
week.
always have fun. We got to keep up.
Thank you, KK.
Thanks, KK.
All right, we'll be right back from Murphy's in Manchester. It's Ticket Blitz Friday here on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell.